Ooh, shalom, shalom. Well, it's like 1 in the morning. I'm still up. My eyes are red. Hair's really got bedhead. I was just studying, gonna get ready for bed, but I can't really sleep because my son's out for grad night. He's getting ready for his graduation, and he's at Magic Mountain right now, having fun on all those crazy rides that we all used to go on when we were little. Or most of us, not everybody. Some people don't like them, but so I decided just to come out here and get my workout in because I haven't been able to work out for a couple of days because of work. Um, but after I do my studies and I read and I study the Bible for a little bit and just go through some things in my mind, pondering upon about what the Father has given to us in His Word. I come out and get the body disciplined, make the flesh submit to the mind, make the body submit to the soul, to the spirit, and then hopefully I'll be tired enough to go to sleep. So I am tired, I am sleepy, but when you got that I don't know if it's nervous energy or just got a lot on your mind, read your Bible and then go work out a little bit, and then hopefully it'll put you to sleep. Most of the time it works for me, but hopefully if you're, I'm gonna post this right away, so if you're up right now and you see this, maybe it'll help you out. Yeah, it's a Thursday night. It's most people are probably in bed already, gonna start getting ready for work. So not sure how long it'll take for this to be posted, because once I submit it, sometimes it takes a little bit for it to go through or whatever process it goes through. But just with that, hope you're all blessed out there. Hope you're all finding your purpose, your passion, and whatever it is you're looking for out there, what you are trying to get out of life. You only have one life, and it's not that long. So let's make it count. Let's do all we can, and let's live to our fullest, make our dreams come true. Live for your passions. Help as many people as you can achieve their dreams and their passions, and I'm pretty sure that you'll get yours too. So, just a little short video. We're gonna get some things going pretty soon. We got a lot of the Moedim coming up, and we'll post some more on that later on. We're gonna be gathering in different places, traveling, and hopefully we can get to the beach, get to some lakes, and experience the Father's creation for ourselves. You can see a lot of things on TV, you can see a lot of things on the internet, on different social media, but it's different when you're there, when you're actually feel the sand in your feet, and feel the water, and hear the wind blowing, and just view the beautiful creation our Father He made for us. He didn't make us for it, but He made this creation for us. Of all the science and all the stuff that's gone out there and all the different planets they look at, and we're called the blue planet, and this position of the Earth is very interesting. It's in a position in a way that it can actually sustain life, and there's not any other planet out there that we found that exists, to our knowledge so far, that we see that can sustain human life. And so He made this planet perfectly to fit us and to keep us alive, and it even has a filtration system of poisonous gases and different things that filter out from the top and the bottom of the globe. And it's really neat because if you ever get to go to Alaska, you'll see those beautiful lights that everyone talks about. We actually went out there and we seen part of that, and it's very, very beautiful. But as beautiful as it is, those are deadly gases that are escaping into space, leaving Earth. So Father has very structured it very interestingly, the way He made the planet to sustain life for all of mankind. And like I said, I don't believe in different races. I believe in one race. It's called the human race. And I don't think there's a supreme race. I think we're all made equal, just as the Bible says. And I think that we've all been given an opportunity and a chance to be great and to be the greatest that we can be. through the blessings He's given us, and through, of course, obedience to His word. And it's very interesting because I talked to some people within the last couple of weeks, and some of them are they just a little they're very high thinking people and very wise and intelligent people, but they don't really believe in a certain religion, a structure of religion. Um, but there's something that we can all share in common as far as mankind, as the human race. We should take care of one another. We shouldn't kill one another, and we shouldn't steal from one another. We shouldn't try to hurt or deceive one another, and we should all try to help each other live a safe and happy and prosperous life, and be honorable and respectful to one another and to our parents and to our elders that have gone before us. And just with those very basic understandings and needs, you can see that most people will agree with that. And if you look at it, those are just like the basic 10 Commandments that we have: not to kill, not to cheat, not to steal, to have respect, and to love one another. I mean, basic things. And there are parts of 10 Commandments that people, they fight about or they don't understand. Especially when it comes to the Sabbath, keeping the Sabbath day holy, keeping it separate, keeping it esteemed, keeping it high and lifted up. A separate day, or a day of appointment that the Father wants us to spend time with Him and with one another. So, and that's for us who believe in the things that have been written in the scriptures for our own good. And I really believe it's for all of mankind to live well with one another, and to enjoy each other's company. We're all made in His image, all of us, and we need to see each other as brothers and sisters out there. And I believe the more we see that we are the same. Yeah, there's some differences in skin color and culture and language and stuff like that. But when you get to the bottom of things, we all need to eat. We all need to drink water. We all need to breathe. We all bleed the same. We all are born, and we all will die. And so I haven't seen one race live forever. So whatever supreme race people think they are out there, one day, even the Bible says that has been given a day that a man surely will die. So just with that, I love all the different cultures and races, not only like saying races, but the people across the globe. And they're very different ways of how they do things, how they understand things. And I believe if we learn from one another, if we can actually just stop fighting and listen to one another and see why people do things the way they do it, I think we can learn a lot from each other, and we can build a society of people who take care of one another, and build them strong. And I really believe that it will lead people back to the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of things that were written long ago. And those things are written in the Bible, and there's other writings that are out there from in ancient books that people have written, and they're actually quoting from biblical sources, or from things that were going around there with biblical people, or people who were found in the Bible living at that time. There's a lot to it, and I think more and more of it's going to be coming out soon and soon. People are going to see the truth. I have a teaching I want to put out there, and just to teach everybody something about, we really are made in the image of Elohim, the image of God, for those of you who don't know the Hebrew Elohim. And there are some out there that they may not like that I use the English terms for Elohim and Yahuwah, which is Lord, for English-speaking people. But I'm trying to reach and teach as many people as I can in a way that they can understand it. So if I sat here and made videos in complete Hebrew, how many people here in America would understand that? Not many. Some will, but not many. And so it just we have to have passion and patience and love and understanding for one another, and not be so high-minded. Oh, I know, but they don't. We got to get past that stuff, and just be loving to one another, because there's people out there that don't know any Hebrew, and I guarantee you they can teach all of us, me especially, things in the Bible that I've never seen, because they've lived a part of life that I haven't lived. They've experienced their Father, their Maker, their Elohim, their God in a way that I haven't. They've experienced mercy, forgiveness in a way I haven't. I have my own way I've experienced mercy and forgiveness. They've experienced healing. There's people out there that have a testimony. They have part of their life where they fought cancer and they prayed and they were healed. And my mother was one of them. And there's situations where my nana, she's a pillar of faith, and things she stood against in harm's way, even to the point where her life may have been taken, but she stood there in faith, believing that the Father would take care of her, and He did. And she came through a lot of stuff. So I seen things in those who went before me, the faith that they held, and the things that they do, and they can teach us things that we have not experienced, we have not gone through yet. And I really believe that we just close our mouths for a little bit and shut down our ego, put our ego down, and really focus on the things that the elders are saying. We'll learn from them. I really was talking to some men earlier this week, and I was saying, what are we leaving behind for our children? What kind of world? What kind of planet? What kind of country? What kind of state? What kind of city? What kind of family are we leaving behind for our children? And the more we look at what's going on, it doesn't seem too promising on the outside. But I really believe there's a movement happening underneath the undertow, a hidden people right in front of everybody. Our children and our children's children, I believe that they're gonna learn, not by what we say and what we teach and all the stuff that they can hear and read, but by the life we live. And I believe that the more we live what we believe in, and the more we're kind to other people and we love other people, the more we forgive people for things they've done, the more of knowledge and wisdom that we seek, the more righteousness that we seek. I believe that they're going to learn by the things that we do. And if we create an atmosphere of righteousness, atmosphere of peace and love and forgiveness and just kindness, deep inside, it's going to be ingrained in them in their subconscious mind. And the Bible says something very interesting. It says, train them up in the way of Elohim, of Yahuwah, actually, of the Lord, and they will not depart from it. And it's just very, very understanding that if we train them, and how do we train children? It's by the day-to-day actions that they see and they go through. And there's some teachings that videos I put out earlier, and some other videos before this one, that I've stated that, sorry about that, it's getting a little blurry here, but I've stated that from the third trimester of the woman's pregnancy or the mother's pregnancy until the child turns 7, they have a mind or a brain that will learn very, very, very fast. And they pick up things around them that are happening, the way people are talking, the way people are treating each other, all kinds of stuff. And the language, some kids can learn 3 languages if there's 3 different kinds of languages being spoken in the house. And this has been seen, documented, and proven scientifically and logically. People just see it and they know it. And I really believe that we can create an atmosphere around our children and our children's children. Grandparents are important. That they will absorb things you never knew that they absorbed. It's something that's going to be in their subconscious mind, that is always going to be there. That's the teaching them the way. And sooner or later, as they grow up, the subconscious mind is going to perpetually move them towards those things that were ingrained in them as a child. And they might not even understand why or how, but they will. And that's just a product of your environment. I really believe that is so. Not that things can't change and that people can't make a difference or a change, but it takes up something drastic sometimes. But there's some very bad things out there. Children that have been brought up around abuse, they become abusers. Hurt people, and that's very, very there's a lot of truth behind that. Children are around gang members and parents that are in gangs. They pretty much fall in line with that stuff. Violent people, people who are all constantly cussing or stealing and stuff like that. I've seen some things in my life. I've seen a man teaching his child how to steal and putting liquor bottles around his belt. Very, very sad things that I saw. A grown father teaching his young son that. It's just a bad situation at the time that I seen, and I told him, what are you teaching your son? I was actually a manager somewhere at one time, and but they sold as a market, and I just caught them. Like, I knew that he was stealing, but I didn't know his son was until I stopped him at the door and I saw the bottles around his son's waist. Like, what are you teaching your son? And I told him, just put the stuff back, and he did, and they left. I didn't want to call the police and have to see his father arrested. And I was very young at the time too, and I just couldn't understand. I was like, I don't know, 20 years old maybe. Maybe I might have been younger, but about that age. And so I've just seen some interesting things in my life. But I've also ran across other young men and children that were growing up around very wise and intelligent and kind people, and they became a pattern of their mother and their father also. And as time went on, I've seen them grow into something very, very awesome. Righteous people, young people that stand for truth, and they're kind, they're loving, they're intelligent, and I've seen them grow up that way also. So yes, are we a product of our environment? Absolutely, I believe we are, and I believe that's why it's so important to make an environment around our children that will depict their future. So I don't believe that we should be going to people that can tell us our future. It's against the Bible. It's against the Word. It's against what Elohim has told us. But I do believe that we can create our future, and we can help our children and our children's children create their future by the environment that we have them raised up upon. Do they see you pray? Do they see you fast? Do they see you read the Bible? Do they see you get, how can I say, do they see, fathers, do they see you cry? Because it's okay for men to cry. Yeshua cried. Jesus, he cried. He's a man among he's a man among men. He's the man that all men should depict himself and to be like, or should try to depict himself to and be like him. But or do they see you cussing and getting irate and getting very, very angry and throwing stuff around and hitting stuff and putting holes in the wall and being abusive to one another and vulgar with one another? Are they growing up around perversion and pornography? What are they growing up around? What kind of seed are you planting in your children and your children's children? Because sooner or later, that little seed will grow. And no matter what that seed, if it's a seed of evil, it will grow up to be evil. If it's a seed of righteousness, it will grow up to be righteous. If that child grows up around a kindness, and you have a seed of kindness planted into that child, he'll grow up to be a kind young man or a kind young lady, and or intelligent. Are we planting intelligence? Do we have the TV on all day? Or do we have a library with vast amounts of books and different knowledge and different interesting things that they can go and glean off of and look at those that went before us? Is there a Bible that's open somewhere and it's been read by the people in the home? So there's all kinds of things. What kind of music is being played in your home? So just think about every day. The little things, they add up to big things, and sooner or later, all the seed will grow. And once the seed grows, there's a tree that's been grown, and the tree will give off a certain fruit. And what kind of fruit will our children and our children's children be eaten off of? Will it be fruit of violence? Will it be fruit of curses, or will it be fruit of blessings, fruit of kindness and love and knowledge and wisdom and understanding? We can make our children strong and powerful, knowledgeable. And they actually absolutely can be. And I don't care if you're barely coming to this understanding and you lived a horrible life before that, and now you've been forgiven and your children are already old, and they say, oh, what can I tell them? They see me all this time. You know what you can tell them? I've been forgiven. I've been forgiven. I've been given an opportunity and a chance. Don't be like I was, but watch how I walk now. Watch how I walk it out now. And be like that. And hopefully they'll have enough inside of them to say, hey, there's been a change there, and I see the difference, and I see that it's better to be that way. Because I've seen that happen too, where there's parents, mothers and fathers that lived a horrible life, in drugs and violence and gangs and perversion and all kinds of stuff. And they've had children, and now they're like 18, 19, 20 years old, and some older. And they say, well, look at my children are all messed up because of how I raised them. And now that I've come into the truth, and I understand righteousness, I understand that there's a better way. I'd already messed them up. What do I tell them? Well, how do I tell them not to go out there and do drugs when they saw me doing drugs? How do I tell them not to go out there and get drunk and wake up in places they never knew how they got there? How do I tell them that when that's how I used to wake up? How do I tell them not to be violent when I was violent? And it stops them. It stops them. Their past is still holding them back from impacting their children. And I tell you this, until the day you die, parent, mother, father, you can still make a difference in your child's life. You can still reach out to them. You can still instruct them. You can still give them wisdom. Now, it's not too late. And don't give up. It might be harder. It might take longer. You got to be consistent. The consistency has to be number one in the way you live your life. And second, the consistency has to be in what you keep on telling them and keep on living before them and never give up and keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on. And no matter what, even if they throw your past back in your face, you keep blowing back in them forgiveness. I was forgiven for that, and you can be forgiven too. You gotta get that backbone. You can't let the past hold you back. Let go of that anchor. Let go of that anchor. Let go of your past. There's a reason why when you're driving your car, your front window is so big, and the rear view mirror is so small. What's behind you is not as important as what's in front of you. And so you need to focus on what's in front of you and going forward and do the best you can, because you might not have been the best parent at raising your children, but you may have grandchildren coming, and you can make a difference and an impact in those little lives too. And never give up on your children. Prayer is powerful. The prayer life of a parent is powerful. Whether you're a mother, a father, or a grandma, or grandpa, or an aunt or an uncle, or a brother or a sister, you can make a difference. Your prayer life and the way you live. Someone's always really on the side, kind of watching what you're doing and how you're living your life, and they remember certain things. I have nephews and nieces. They know that they can come to me for help because I love them, and I would do anything I could to help them. They know that. Not just my children, but my family members' children, my nephews and my nieces. If they ever need anything, they can always come to me, and I'll do my best. I got children that we have helped just taken care of, and they're grown, and they're just beautiful people now. And not because we helped raise them, but because their family was good. But just to say that if they ever needed something too, they can come to us also, to me and my wife. And so we need to care for one another. It's just all coming back to caring for one another. This human race. This human race. People say, oh man, are you racist? Absolutely. I hate all races, and I love the human race. If that makes any sense. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. I don't like this division of people. I'll say that we're one human race, we're one people. And we should do the best for one another and help each other raise a child. Ever hear that saying that it takes a village to raise a child? It actually takes a village to raise a child. The school, the mishpachah, the church, and the home, the other parents around, the uncles, the aunts, the cousins, all these people have an effect, and they're feeding into this child. And whatever they put inside this child is going to be what raises them, what grows them, what feeds them, what forms them, and what sets their path. And so it does matter, and it does take a village to raise a child, because they're going to learn everywhere they go, from inside the mother's womb. At the third trimester, the baby's already listening, hearing, and feeling, and learning fast. Learning really fast. And so, if it's third trimester and the baby's already learning, the science has proven this. A living soul, a living human being can learn. And if this unborn baby is learning already in that third trimester, it absolutely is a living being, a living human that should be protected and have all the rights of every human being on the face of this planet. So let's be kind to one another. Let's help protect the human race. Let's do what we can and never give up. And then remember, no matter what people say or what you think, you are forgiven. And you can make a way. You can make a way for those that are coming behind you. Your children, your children's children, even for strangers, people at work, people you meet in the market, people you meet in the library, wherever you go. You can make a difference. You can impact somebody for the rest of their life. You never know who you're going to meet. The Father has prepared a certain amount of people in your path to bring to you, to introduce them to Him. And sometimes it's just by you being kind and loving and forgiving. That's how you represent Him. That's how you introduce Him. It's not just like, oh, here, throwing the Bible in their face. That pushes away people sometimes. But how about helping somebody with their the groceries, or buying somebody's coffee that's in line behind you? People start questioning, hey, why is this person kind? How come this person is different? And they started being inquisitive, and they start watching, they start listening, they start looking. And then hopefully they start to duplicate, they start to copy, they start to mimic. And kindness breeds kindness, love breeds love. So just with that, this video is a little longer than what I thought it was going to be. I'm going to get to my workout right now. But I just have a lot on my mind. I have a lot on my heart. And I just want people to love one another. There's a lot in Scripture. Some very, very deep thoughts. Very high things in the Hebrew, of things that are hidden. Some very good, very beautiful gems of understanding in the Scriptures and how they're broken down in different parts. But let's get to the basic understanding of why this beautiful document, this beautiful letter from a loving Father to His children was written in the first place. He's telling His children how to treat one another and how to grow and be more like Him as we walk this little thing called life, and we walk into a greater life after this one. What we leave behind is going to matter. Because once we leave, we take our last breath, we can do no more. Let's do all we can for Him while we can. Let's do all we can for one another while we can. So just that, be great and be blessed, because you are. Shalom, shalom.